This is the 2026 Porsche Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid. Is it the ultimate sleeper SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Porsche Shreveport for today's video. If you want to know more about this Cayenne, check out the link down in the description of the video. One thing that I really like that Porsche does so well is whether it's an SUV or a 911 or whatever it might be, when you look at it, you know you're looking at a Porsche, minus seeing the Porsche crest that is obviously going to be right here. But as we look at the front end, we're going to have that very classic look with, first of all, our headlight design right here. Over the years, obviously this has evolved, but I do like the individual lighting elements that we have here. Everything is going to be full LED headlights, daytime running lights, turn signal indicators, all of that is going to be here. And you'll have what I think is a very tastefully done amount of gloss black here on the front end. Not too much. That's a good thing. You're going to see the large active air curtains right here, allowing air to flow through. That's going to help you out even more with your MPGs when you're driving down the road, unless you're like me and you have your foot in it all the time, which is going to be hard not to do with this model. We're going to have several sensors, just like this one, on the front end and all around the vehicle to help you out to stay safe as you're driving down the road. Now this Cayenne will be all-wheel drive. It's going to have rear steering, so that's going to help you out with that tighter turning radius. And in this case, we're going to have our 22-inch wheels. And the one thing that you don't have here is a spare tire. It's just something to be aware of. Not that unusual for a hybrid vehicle, but that's the situation. Our e-hybrid logo prominently displayed right here. I think it's in the right place, just the perfect placement, not too big, not too small. With our side view mirrors, we're gonna have everything you're looking for. They're heated, they're power adjustable. And these are also going to be power folding side view mirrors. So just to show you how that works, I'm gonna push the button right here. That's gonna allow those to fold in and do their thing. Now, I'm gonna show you the remote real quick. Now, I love what Porsche does here. First of all, it looks like a car. The Porsche crest right here. And then we're gonna have lock, unlock. We can open and close the power tailgate. All those great features are going to be here. And with our doors, we're gonna have the soft close feature, so you don't have to close it all the way, and it will take care of it for you. That's gonna be on the front doors and on the rears. We'll show you that real quick. I know you might be able to not be able to see it as well from that vantage point, but there we go. Get that to close for us. We also have the nice large panoramic sunroof. That's going to be nice. Power shade can be drawn forward to keep the light from coming in when you don't want it to. Now, it doesn't actually open. It's just there. It's just in a fixed piece of glass. I like the design of our rear roof spoiler right here. Very nice, very racy, very swoopy looking. This model is considered a coupe because of the roof line. And we'll have our gloss black rear spoiler. That's going to be in high gloss black, just like that trim around the side windows that we looked at. And again, LED lighting back here on the rear, maybe a little bit easier to see here than it was with the front lights, but just kind of show you what's going on there. Turning things on just a little bit for you. We're going to have the Porsche logo once again prominently displayed, and then our turbo logo right here. And this model comes equipped with the towing package. That's going to give you a little bit of extra utility. And here's the heart and soul of what makes this the ultimate sleeper SUV. It's going to be a combination of a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with an electric motor paired to that. All of that together puts out 729 horsepower, 700 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed transmission. And how about your 0 to 60? 3.5 seconds. Top speed is estimated at 183 miles per hour. And how about your MPG-E and MPG details? So on electricity, which you can drive about 24 miles on electric only, we're looking at 46 MPGEs. We're going to have 73 kilowatt hours per 100 miles driven. And then if you go gas only, we're looking at 19 miles combined and 5.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. All right, you're gonna have your charge port here over on the driver's side. We'll show you what you have going on as far as this area goes, give you a quick look at that and let you see what you have there. Obviously the charge cable will come with your Cayenne. Now I'm gonna let my cameraman go to the driver's side door and push a very important button, because when it comes time to fill the gas tank, you're gonna push that button that he is pushing right now, And then right over here on the passenger side is where the gas tank is located. You do have the gas cap right here. I like that cap that comes with some of these models. And if you're curious to know, you have an 18.4 gallon gas tank. When it comes to towing, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can tow a decent amount, 6,614 pounds, but that's not the only thing we have here. We also have our cargo capacity, and what exactly does that come in as? Between 21.9 cubic feet. If you lower the rear seats like we have done right there, as you see in the video, that's going to take it up to 55 cubic feet. You're going to have your cargo cover right here that can be easily removed if you want to remove that. That's not a big deal. That makes it easier to have all of your cargo space available. If you want to raise the rear of your Cayenne, it doesn't come up a whole lot, but you can raise it up with the button right here. That's going to bring the rear up. And then you can hold this button right here, and this will lower the rear depending on what your situation is. We're gonna have some cargo area lighting in here to help you out after dark. And right over here is a 12-volt power outlet. See if I can get my arm out of the scene where you can actually see that. And a little bit of storage space in this area as well. So a few little options as far as that goes. And underneath the floor, now we don't have a spare tire as I mentioned to you earlier in the video. You do have all of the tools that you need to do all this different stuff as far as your tires go and different things like that. But as far as an actual spare tire, it's not here. And just to give you a look at what is actually under the floor, you can see everything here as far as the battery goes, and then your tools right here that you have in case you need to deal with a tire emergency. Hopefully you don't have to. All right, let's talk about what your back row passengers are going to find. Your second row, the seats back here are comfortable, and you can actually do quite a bit as far as changing the positioning. So I'm just going to let you see, there's several different settings here. They do recline, as you can see. So you can actually change the positioning of these seat backs. That's not all you can do. You can also come right here and fold down this area to create a pass-through. And so if you need to take advantage of that, you can. Either way, you've only got seating for 2 people back here, because you can see you've got a little space right here. Then we have the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in, my favorite version, because no matter if there's a cup in here or not, 1 or 2 cups, you can always use this as an armrest instead of having the parallel cup holders. That's just my favorite thing. Now let's talk about the door panels. We're going to go over there to the passenger side. It definitely is comfortable. I like that you've got that grab handle right there that could work for a couple of different things, especially when the driver drops the hammer on 729 horsepower. And the door bin has quite a bit of space down there, as you can see. And something else that is going to be really nice here, I'm going to show you on my door. You'll notice that when I pull up on the button that you would use to lower and raise the window, you can also bring up the power shade. These power privacy shades are going to be here. I can lower that back down if I want to, however I want to handle that. We do have a traditional oh crap handle up here, because I guarantee you people are going to need it if they don't have any clue of what they're in for. And then we're going to have the rear seat pockets right here, kind of a net style material, but there it is, 1 on each seat, the driver and the passenger seats. And here is the command center on the rear of the center console. You have your air conditioning vents. You actually have 4 zones of climate control, 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. As you can see, we also can change the direction of the airflow. We can also come right here and turn our heated seats on and off, 3 different stages for both seats. You can adjust the fan speed. So there's a few different things that can be done here. And our panoramic sunroof is up here that I was telling you about earlier. Notice that is 1 piece of a fixed glass. So like I said, that doesn't actually open. You do have your power shade right here that you can draw forward or back depending on your needs. I know you're wondering what the sticker price is, for those of you that didn't just ask in the comments section like some people do. It's $212,160. Don't tell anybody if you see them asking down there in the comments section. Let's take a look at what else we have. We're going to start with our upper console. Not a whole lot to talk about right here. This is how you open the power shade for the sunroof, and this is how you close it. And then you can turn your lights on and off right there, depending on what you need to do. We'll have our auto dimming rear view mirror right here if we want to take advantage of that. And just something that's very practical right down here in the way of the glove box. I never find any gloves in the glove boxes, but that's what it's called. And over on the passenger side door panel, One thing I like is that you're going to see the seat memory settings for the passenger seat at this price point. That should be there. And then we're going to have the nice large armrest, a little larger than what we had in the rear, a little longer, and a little bit more space with the door bin. Now, I am going to grab the camera and we'll come over here to the driver's side and take a look at what we have. Once again, seat memory, we've got our settings for that. Lock and unlock right there. The buttons for controlling our side view mirrors and folding those in, locking the windows and all that good stuff. And as far as the windows, all 4 windows are 1 touch down and 1 touch up, in case you were curious about that. Here's where you can come to control your exterior lighting, headlights and tail lights. You can leave that on auto if you want to. You can turn that off completely. You can turn them on yourself. I just say leave it on auto. Then right here, we're going to have our cruise control functionality. There is also going to be a switch right back here for the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. We're also going to have one of those complicated matters that so many drivers struggle with, how to use that lever and what it does. That's your turn signal indicator control, or your turn signal stalk, so you can let people around you know what you're doing. And right here is the button to start and stop the engine. That's very common in Porsche vehicles. Here are our steering wheel mounted controls. You can see what all is here. You also have your shifter paddles right here for gearing up and gearing down through your transmission. And you can see what else is here. Here is our drive mode selector. We're going to go through those drive modes real fast just to show you what's here. Now you've got hybrid. We can go through e-power if we want to. You can go to off-road. And then we're going to go all the way back over here to sport. Now, I don't know if you can hear it very well, but let's go from sport to sport plus. Don't know if you can hear that or not, but that's not the only thing here. Trying to give you a little bit of an exhaust clip. If you push this button, you will get sport response mode, which maximizes the power of the vehicle, and you have everything available. Everything is set perfectly for performance, for acceleration, the transmission, everything, so that you can get around slower moving traffic or just surprise that unsuspecting driver out on the road. Now, if you're looking at the driver's display and saying, you know what, I don't like the way that looks, come to this scroll wheel right here, and you can change that. You can bring up navigation. We can come right here and still have the navigation, but a little bit of a difference with our gauges. You can see what all we have here just to run through everything. It just depends on what you like, maybe what you're in the mood for. Everything is digital, but we do have the traditional analog gauges here as well. You do have the Sport Chrono package here as well. That's pretty obvious. And with our center screen, quite a bit to talk about here. You have your built-in navigation. You can see what you're listening to right there and make changes where that's concerned. Or if you need to come to your different icons and choose whatever it is you need to choose here, you can do that. You can go in to Sport Chrono. Quite a few different things you can do here. We're not going to go through it in great detail, but just to show you a little bit of what's going on here, this is what we have. And you can also see that we have 2 different pages worth. We're going to have our built-in navigation. As you can see, you've got your settings. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto will be here. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You can come in here to vehicle if you need to do that, depending on what you need to see or do. You've got your different driving modes. You can select those here if you want to, but obviously it's a lot easier to just use the dial on the steering wheel. You can come in here to chassis if you want to make adjustments there. It is in Sport Plus because that's where I have it set. And then we also have assistance, just to show you a little bit quickly of what all is here. Here are your different safety features. I know a lot of you like to know about that. If you need to pause the video, you can. I'm not going to go through everything in detail, but just to show you what's going on, where that is concerned. Trip is going to be right here. There's all the details you need as far as that goes. And then we can come right here to comfort. Very cool graphics that go along with everything too. You do have ambient lighting here, a little bit too bright outside to show that to you, but here it is. Depending on how you want to set things up, you have several different colors to choose from. You can just work your way around to wherever you want to with that and choose your color. You can also go with dynamic if you want to. Depends on what you want to do, but there's a lot of different things you can do here with several different features and a lot of different functions with the vehicle. Here is your shifter. This is classic Porsche, a little bit unique. So we're going to go into reverse and I can show you the different views with the camera. There is your rear view. We'll go to our front view right here. That's your front view. And then you have a couple of different options all around the vehicle depending on what you want to see. Here's what we're going to have right here. I do like that when you make a selection that everything stays on the screen right here. I've seen some vehicles that don't do that. So when you need to see any place around your Cayenne, you can do that. The P right there, obviously, that's going to put you back into park. You'll see some of our air conditioning vents down here. There's your hazard light button and traction control. If you want to turn that off, you can do that right there. You do have the cover right here if you'd like to take advantage of that. It just makes things look neat and clean. But your wireless charging pad and a couple of USB ports will be here. And very similar to what we saw in the back seat area, we're going to have dual zone climate control here in the front. But unlike the back seat, we have our heated seats, 3 stages, and 3 stages of ventilated seats. In addition to that, for the driver and the passenger in the front seat area, you can sync everything together if you want to. Just depends on what you want to do with that. Here is your control for the radio. You can turn that on and off by pushing that area right there and adjust the volume. A little bit of storage space behind that. And then in between our cup holders is a 12-volt power outlet. And last but not least, the lid for the center console doubles as an armrest, and there is your space within the center console itself. Okay, here we go on the test drive, my favorite part of driving the Cayenne. I wish it was broken in because I could have a lot more fun with it, but we'll do the best we can. Now, one thing that's very interesting about Porsche is that I say it's the perfect balance of performance and luxury all in one package. If you compare Mercedes-Benz and BMW, BMW is more focused on performance with some luxury. Mercedes-Benz is more focused on luxury with a little bit of performance, actually quite a bit, but more so on the luxury. You get that balance here with Porsche where that is concerned. So we're gonna go on out here real fast and see how it goes. Not going to go too crazy with it, but get on it a little bit here. Yep, it's definitely a lot of fun to drive. I would love to be able to track this SUV and really put it through its paces. I did have the privilege of going to the Porsche driving experience a few months ago and had a good time driving several different Porsche models. But to be able to go out and test something like this, I think would be quite the experience. Now, it does have all of the different settings and features as far as your different driving modes. Depending on how comfortable you want things to be or how stiff you want things to be, you can choose accordingly, and you do have all of those different features with your center screen to help you out in so many different ways. In my opinion, it's not complicated to learn or use. I know everyone will have their opinions where that is concerned, but I think it does just fine. Now, one thing this model does not have that is an available option is the passenger screen. So that's not here. Now, here's a nice little trick, or bonus, I should say. We get to test the four-wheel steering, rear axle steering right there, and it definitely is quite a tight turning radius. Give you a little exhaust note. Definitely a lot of fun to drive, but it's also practical at the same time. I think once you step on it a few times, you'll probably get that out of your system and just drive normally most of the time. But it's nice to know that that power is there when you need it. Plenty of room here in the front and second row areas. Obviously, a lot of adjustability built here into the driver's seat between the adjustable seat, which is something I didn't talk about earlier in the video. The driver and the passenger seats up here are adjustable. They do have lumbar support, so all of that is there. As you know, the steering wheel is also adjustable. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable, so you can take advantage of that as you need to. And no shortage of fun, that's for sure. Practical daily driving, a lot of fun. When you need that spirited drive, you can head out on the road and take care of that. If you have an area where you have some twists and turns, that's going to be nice. And just practical use. A lot going on in favor of the Cayenne where that is concerned. if you need to take advantage of that. You can tow, you can haul, you've got room for 4 passengers, including the driver. So I would say that between being a very luxurious high-end SUV with a ridiculous amount of horsepower, it also is very practical at the same time. And there it is, the 2026 Porsche Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid. Is it the ultimate sleeper SUV? I'm going to say it is, but I'm curious to know what you think down in the comments section. I would like to say a special thanks to our friends at Porsche Shreveport for loaning us this Cayenne for the day so we could tell all of you about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful and we greatly appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media, minus the little tongue twist. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.